I've been reading again for the second time Hinds' Feet on High Places by Hannah Hurnard, and it just really encouraged me for my own journey. So it's an allegory, it's an allegorical novel, but um, it just it talks about our journey as disciples of Jesus, and it talks about the journey going to high places. So high places here isn't about going to heaven, but the high places here is the highs of our relationship with our shepherd. And I'm yet to discover again what it means because I'm reading the earlier chapters. I first read it back in 2020 on Kindle, but I'm so happy that finally have my own physical copy. I thrifted it from Graceful Reads by Lee, and it's an answered prayer because I've been really praying for a physical copy of this. Pero may bonus pa nga because I got a Hannah Hurnard bundle, 3 books for 250 pesos. Yesterday, I read the part nung nasa paanan na si Much Afraid, the protagonist in this story. She was at the foot of the mountain, I guess, going to the high places. But then her companions, Sorrow and Suffering, kept pointing that they have to go to the lowly places, which is, I think, a wilderness or a desert. And at this point, Much Afraid has been really longing to go to the high places and to just receive all the promises the chief shepherd gave her once she enters the kingdom of love, which is on the high places. And parang yung picture is your dream or your goal is right before your eyes, but then kailangan nyo pang mag-detour. So that's what happened, and Much Afraid broke down. And I could understand that because I could resonate with it na many times in my life I also experienced that same feeling, like what you were longing for, praying for is parang abot kamay mo na, but then God intentionally leads you to a detour, and that's what happened here. It was intentional, it was purposeful, that it was the path that the shepherd chose for Much Afraid to go to the lowly places with her companions, Sorrow and Suffering, to go to the desert, to wander probably in the wilderness before before arriving to the high places. And right there and then she called for the chief to the chief shepherd. Bakit, di ba? Ang dami ng questions. Why do I have to go through this? Are you, parang ganun siya yung feeling niya, are you withholding the good things that you promised me? Are you withholding your promises from me? And then the shepherd encouraged her na, do you choose me? Do you trust me? Do you believe na whatever I choose for you is for your good, or has a purpose? And then I forgot the exact words. Basta sabi ata ni Much Afraid na, help me to trust you. Then he answered very quietly. This is the shepherd speaking. Much afraid, do you love me enough to accept the postponement and the apparent contradiction of the promise and to go down there with me to the desert? And then I want to find Much Afraid's exact words, and it's very sweet. I do love you. So this is Much Afraid speaking. You know that I love you. Oh, forgive me because I can't help my tears. I will go down with you into the wilderness. Right away from the promise, if you really wish it. Even if you cannot tell me why it has to be, I will go with you. For you know I do love you, and you have the right to choose for me anything that you please. It's just so humbling because I believe, for many of us, there are really instances in our lives na you just don't understand yet why God allows those things to happen, and why he intentionally even puts us through those times of wilderness in desert places na para bang at the moment it feels so unpleasant. At the moment it's not something good, pero I can understand na sabi kasi nung shepherd here na you have to develop hinds feet to go into high places with me, because only not nothing blemished or imperfect can enter that place. So for us, maybe just relating it for our personal experience, my personal experience, na God intentionally puts us through places in our lives, seasons in our lives to prune us, to refine us, to shed things that are blemishes, sins, attitudes, mindsets that do not align with His will, His heart, that do not, um, that could not be brought into the high places of our relationship with Him, the high places of our life with Him. And at the moment, it could be really painful. And discipline, as parents, now I understand why discipline and training is so important, because you are, equipping your children for what's ahead. And God, as the faithful father that He is, does that to us also. He is training us and molding us after His own heart, and that takes a lot of pruning. And I've had so many prayers, um to prayers that are answered with a no. Hindi ko kasi masabing unanswered, because mostly God gives me an answer, but um madaming no's. And what's amazing, after that, no, God's give us also the grace to understand and see His heart behind the no's. Kaya pala God said no to this, because He had a different plan for us, why He had to move us. We moved quite a lot, and we're now moving again, but we trust the Lord that whatever He allows us to go through, He has an eternal purpose even. And what's more important is not just the going to the high places, but the journey of going there. And through that journey, the shepherd molds us into His people. And na-realize ko, mas madami kang matututunan, ang pagbabago, transformation in the desert places, in the wilderness. Diyan talaga tayo pinupuno ng Panginoon, in our unanswered prayers, in our in situations na you have really no other choice but to simply depend on Him, to trust Him, and to obey. Mothering is not glamorous. It's beautiful, but it's not always glamorous. Diba? Nakakapagod. It's exhausting at times. Well, most of the time, I could feel na I'm just going on and on, kasi nga I'm breastfeeding, like my nights and days are blurry. But I'm seeing the beauty of how God grows me in faithfulness by just showing up every single day, every single night, for my children, for my husband, and to do it as unto the Lord. And without this training, I wouldn't even grow in the area of faithfulness. And without this opportunity to know joy by in such a place, to know joy not when everything is perfect or glamorous or easy, but to have joy in the midst of the trials and testings, to have joy in the midst of the unglamorous life, the unglamorous ordinariness of being a wife and a mother. And oh my goodness, what are you doing? To find joy in the humble places, knowing that this is what the Lord has apportioned for me, and to receive that in humility and joy, and to experience His love also. Now, He put us where we are at because of His love also, and His grace. And even the hard things, even the hard things, and His knows, you can still it could be the very expressions of His grace, His goodness and mercy. So yeah, that's my encouragement for today, and see you in the next one, hopefully.